And I am telling you, these edges are rising. Ha. Good for the glue is the best glue I've ever known. There's no way it'll let it go, but no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Those peas are rising without me. I am hot. I am working. Lipstick off. Hairs. Because I'm working. It's cool. Sometimes work ain't pretty. I'm not going to stop and go freshen up and all that because we working, baby. And I don't want to get up until we're finished. I have to go to the bathroom some more ish. I'll probably have to go to the bathroom if it starts to throw me off. But I'm trying to just keep going with you guys. So let's work, yeah. Sorry I can't sing. Sorry. I apologize. Not I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me give you a little glimpse into the next book. Don't say sorry. I'm sorry. You're not sorry. You just apologize. That's all. It's no reflection of you. Just apologize. Alright, babies. Let's go. Let's have this mindful minute. Put your feet flat on the floor. Nothing crossed. Hands open like this and on your lap. Deep breath in. Breathing in positivity, positive energy, charisma, high frequency of vibration. Exhale, negativity, shame, embarrassment, scolding. Breathe in, strength, backbone, confidence, love of self, high self-esteem. Breathe out, codependency, abuse, victimization, isolation. Keep your eyes closed. Think of a beautiful, beautiful place. A place where you feel safe. Where you can let go of all your inhibitions. A place where you feel strong. Where you feel secure in yourself. When you know that all you ever wanted and all you ever needed is right within. Open up your eyes. You're at that place. It lives in you. It lives in you. This chapter 5, is by far my most favorite chapter, I think, because, like I said, I did not just write this work. I did not write a book. That's why I very seldomly like to call it a book. It's work. And I literally had to put my all into it. And I would literally have writer's block if I didn't actually do the work and thought I was going to sit up here and write about it. It was not happening, right? And like I said, when I was doing my accountability, I was getting so engrossed in taking accountability that I was letting a lot of things happen to where I was not setting boundaries. And that even goes further into the next book, just learning how to stand firm on those boundaries that you set. But let's start at the beginning. So, the boundaries. Make sure we have all of our necessary ingredients. Your journal. And I do, like I said, suggest that you have some loose leaf paper. Maybe do the homework on loose leaf paper. And also have some just loose leaf paper on hand. Remember, last time we ripped up some paper, wrote some words on it, had our bag of shit. And this week, we are going to be doing the drawing that you need to have separate out of your notebook. So either rip out a page or have some extra pages handy. We, of course, need our writing utensil. And, of course, our trusty On My Way to the Third. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I don't get tired of correcting myself. Okay, on my way to the throne, lulu.com. So, like I said last time, I'm not going to read the whole chapter. You know, they're not long chapters at all. But as Spirit talks to me and just tell me some things I've grown. You know what? As a matter of fact, see that? It says the Mirror. That's a pseudonym. So I was fashioning myself After, first of all, a spiritual growth that I had with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and we chose these names. This is when I really, really delve into this thing really deeply. And also the wonderful Ian Levanzant, who is a well-known spiritual coach, and her name for real is Rhonda something, and she changed her name, and I was just so, set on, having the spiritual growth, and the name changed with it, and the name of Mira Manal is just so beautiful. It means abundance and accomplishment, and I'm just like, yes, give it to me. That's what I want. I am. And then it was always like really weird to say it out of my mouth. So I started looking at what my own name meant, and I like it, Katoya. And my mother didn't even know. She just, with that, I don't know where she got it from. She doesn't either. Just something. But I actually looked up the meaning of it. I broke down the word, and I don't need to have a pseudonym. I'm so much more comfortable with my own name, with its meaning. So there's a spiritual growth moment for you this week. How we all grow. Okay, now, like I was saying, boundaries was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful chapter to write and to live, because after taking so much accountability, I really felt drained. I really felt stupid. I really felt miserable, because I did. I felt like these are all the things that I had done after it was, here was all my shit, looking all cute, all pink and all of that, but still on my shit, and it stinks, and it's mine. Like, I did this. Like, what's wrong with me, right? That's how I was feeling. I don't know how you felt last week, but that's how I felt. Please leave it in the comments. But this helped me to say, okay, yes, we made this move. Yes, you've done some people wrong. No, you're not in debt, sweetheart. You are not to sit up here and abuse and blame and beat up on yourself, because remember, a lot of the things that you did, it was learned behavior from a time when you had no choice, and maybe you didn't necessarily know what you were doing. Maybe it took this process for you to really get real with yourself. You know what I mean? So it's okay. Be patient with yourself. Don't beat up on yourself. And at the same time, don't let nobody else beat up on you. Okay? Like I told you, people are going to have a lot of things to say as you go through this journey. They're supposed to challenge you to see how real you are, how dedicated you are, how committed you are to what? To yourself, to your own spiritual growth. How bad do you want it? You got to put in this work, right? All right, so by far my favorite chapter, because I got to say, I done took all of this from myself about what I did wrong. I done got myself together. I done got myself right straight. I know what it is that I need to do next time to make the right decision so I can get to where I want to be. That place that I visualized in my head. That relationship that I visualized from last week. You got your homework from last week. Pull it out. These ideal relationships, ideal ways, and it doesn't have to be a dream. This is my goals and ambitions, and I can get there, and this is what I need to do. But what's also important is what the people that are around me are doing. And it's even more important now, because as you attain spiritual growth, as you obtain any type of growth, the people around you either are going to grow with you or fall by the wayside. And sometimes when people fall by the wayside, it's not so smooth. Sometimes it's quite dramatic. Sometimes people are like holding on, clawing, trying to pull you in with them. They're trying to stay afloat. It's a lot of different scenarios. I love coming up with metaphors and scenarios. Oh, I freaking adore it. I'll have you on here forever. And what I'm trying to do is trying to give you as much and not so much time, so that you guys can really have the time to really delve in. You understand? So anyway, we can't control what other people do. Very true. But what we can do is we can form a structure for ourselves. Okay? So this is boundaries. It is quite foolish to believe that because you don't desire to hunt the tiger, that the tiger in turn will not desire to hunt you. So in saying that, along your journey, don't assume that because you have come into this spiritual awakening, that the world has come into this spiritual awakening. That because you have settled this beef between you and such, and you above it, and you're past it, and look, don't assume that such and such has also done that. Okay? People are who they are. Okay? A tiger is a tiger. Okay? You don't want to hunt the tiger. You don't want a problem with the tiger. That don't mean the tiger don't want no problem with you. Okay? So be very mindful of that. Because sometimes when we get into spiritual growth, we sometimes forget that there is a world out there. You know, spiritual growth is cool, but there's a world out here, and there's a way to marry it and excel and propel to your greatest self, to maximize yourself, and respecting spirituality and reality at the same time, because we are, in fact, spiritual beings having a human experience. So you have to show respect for both realms and both planes, okay? So being fortunate or unfortunate, I'm still at a saucer, but the fact is that we live in a world where people need to be supervised. And when I say that, I mean supervised within your own life. Now, I have been the person in the past to say, well, I am extremely given, and I am. And I had to learn a lot about self-sacrifice versus love. I have a video on that, and that'll also be in the next book. And as a result, I found myself feeling taken advantage of, feeling really drained, you know, a lot of times, because I did not know how to set boundaries and standards for other people. And so when I say supervise, that's what I mean. You can't make anybody do anything. But if you're going to come into my life, I have boundaries. I have things that I need to make sure I keep straight, because I need to be the best me I need to be. And what you're going to find is, and once again, I'm not going to read the chapter. I really encourage you to go ahead and get the book. You got I gave like 3 chapters, but I just feel spirit speaking, and I'm going to just rock with that, okay? In setting boundaries, the first thing that you have to do is be comfortable with asking for your value. Be comfortable. I just had a conversation with 2 ladies, and one is my age, one is a bit older than me. She's like a mother figure to me, and we were just laughing and joking over text. And you know, she's asking me about a guy's picture on my Marco Polo. I'm like, oh no, that's nobody, whatever. I'm like, you know, he's cool, you know, he thinks he loves me. I said, but you know, he threatened to kill me so one day, so we can never really be romantic. So they're like, oh, you must have some good coochie, you know, ready to kill you. So we're laughing about it. Like, good coochie should be getting me shopping sprees, not you know, nuggets talking about they want to kill me, you know. And we're talking, and they're like, oh, it's the eyes, you put a spell on them. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out the spell for, you know, good sex. But I didn't say good sex, I said something else, but I want to be appropriate. You know, good sex, good money, good looks, you know, loyal. I don't want them to talk too much. You know, loyal, blah 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 blah. And so I built my ideal man in this text message, and they said, that's the black male unicorn, right? And then one of them say, pick 2 out of the things that I named. And I said, wow, look how we limit ourselves, and we do. And partially we are afraid to ask for what we want, be it the fact that we don't think that we're actually worth what we're asking for, that we're scared to be rejected, that we're scared to hear no. I know for me, a lot of times I was really scared to hear no, because what would that mean for me? Someone who bases so much of who they are off of what other people says, over what other people say my deeds are, you know. So in that way I was cheating myself, you know, and in that way you're cheating yourself. Ask for what you want when you're setting boundaries. That's rule number 1. You have to ask for what you want. Okay, nobody's going to read your mind. Nobody's going to figure out. I don't care if you've been married to this person for 30 years. That is not fair to put that type of thing on somebody. The ability to read your mind. Speak it. Sit down and make it like a meeting. Make it like it's important. Don't pussyfoot around your own happiness, your own security, your own dreams. Don't pussyfoot around it. Get out there. Okay? If you got to sit down with a pen and a paper and you have to write down a list, listen, this is what I would like. This is what I see for myself. I would like for you to be a part of it. You know, this is what I would like. This is how I like to feel. And you want to be very careful. See, this is very difficult to not be there to coach you. You want to be very careful not to speak in ways to somebody when you are setting boundaries, where you're attacking that person. Oh, you do this and I want you to stop. It's not like that. you know. But if you've actually been doing the work, and that's why it's important. Yes, some people are going to speed through this and watch all of them and do the work and do it all in one night. It doesn't work like that, though. And I say people do it at their own pace, they do, and that's why I'm uploading them. But you want to take time with this, because if you've actually been doing the work, then you're at a place right now that you know how to speak to someone in a way where you're using your mind and your heart. So for instance, if you're still speaking to people and you doing this, or you're being condescending, or you don't found this new spiritual awakening and now you're better than everybody and saying, you know, on that type of bougie spiritual-ish, no, it's wrong. You can't talk to somebody like this, and especially a man. Let me tell you something. When I speak to my man, and I shouldn't even say this, because some man might look at this and know our little secrets. When we have our one-on-ones and we have our group sessions, I can get more into detail about stuff like this. But when I am talking to someone I'm intimate with and I am asking something from them, especially a man, because we don't realize a lot of the things that we do, like when you start off a conversation where we need to talk, automatically you put your man in panic mode. From what I understand, he now thinks it's something that he must solve. He's in mode, and I mean, that's cool, but if you're really looking for him to just listen to you and really just be relaxed and calm and really take in what you're saying and really get him to really express himself back to you, then you want him to be calm and you want him to have a safe environment. You have to set that up, you know. You may say that's a lot out on this one level, and you're not ready to be a woman to a man, because that's what it takes. Well, we'll have other discussions on this. But so for instance, when I'm talking to a man that I fancy, I'm always careful not to look like this. Not because I'm less to him, not like that, but because when I told my man I tilt my head a little bit like this, you know, and instead of raising my head up to be square-eyed with him, you know, it's a little challenging in your body language, you know. I look up at him, and I look him in his eyes, and I let him know that what he's saying is important, and I admire him, and I'm hanging on to the next word, and it's not fake, it's very real. I wouldn't be in his presence if that's not how I felt, because that's a waste of my time, right? So if you don't actually feel like that about a man, maybe you need to reevaluate that. But I'm very open with him, and I'm very myself, very delicate and very vulnerable, so that when I go to him with a problem, he wants to solve it. You know, this is his soft, sweet, delicate woman who respects him and admires him, and of course he gives me something to respect, love, and admire. So like I said, this is not about being subservient, fake, or anything else. If you're seeing that you can express yourself like this, you're not feeling these ways about a partner that you're intimate with, these are things that you need to delve into. Once again, this is where the one-on-one and the group sessions come into play, with us actually being there with you to coach you on this. So I keep saying that because this is really teetering. You know, I think that this is kind of new, these kind of spiritual workshops over the web. And so you just want to be very careful how you're impacting people, how that feedback is coming out, how you're interacting with people as you're getting this work and doing this work. But of course, I pray to that boundless, that limitless, and that energyless. And I just really am sending positive energy and positive vibration out to you guys. And I'm knowing that it's reaching you, and I'm knowing that if you're really delving in and doing this work, the way that you're communicating with people are going to change. You're going to be communicating with heart and spirit and mind, and in the present, you're going to be actually listening to people when they're talking, not thinking about the next thing you're going to say, and actually be overstanding a situation, taking your feelings away from it and looking at it for what it is, so you can see someone else's point of view as well, so you can be more of a problem solver, more solution based than problem based, more calming everything down and adding fire to the fuel. You see what I'm saying? So if you're finding that your communication is not exhibiting those types of things, maybe you need to take it back, find out what chapter, find out what spot, find out where it was that you didn't really delve, where it was there wasn't a connection. Maybe you have a question for me, leave it in the comment box. Go ahead and email us at womanofroyalkindred@gmail.com. I'm always happy to help anybody. There is, of course, a fee for sessions and one-on-one group work, spiritual growth work. But I never mind answering a question or just giving some guidance. That's never a big deal for any of us. I can definitely speak for the other ladies with that. So feel free to definitely reach out if you feel like you missed something, if you feel like you need something more in depth, and if maybe you can't afford necessarily right now to give financially to a one-on-one, or if you can't do that, then you can get together with a group and you guys can come together. It can be less expensive. Or like I said, if you really just can't do it financially, you're just looking for, you know, I missed something here, or I missed something there or something, feel free. Comment box or hit us up at womenofroyalkindred@gmail.com. Okay. So, like I was saying, speak out of your mouth. Be prepared to hear sometimes from certain people that they're not prepared to give you what you want initially. Be prepared for people to expect you to prove what you're saying. Yes, you're saying that you're setting boundaries. Yes, you're saying that this is what you want. But first, they have to see you treating yourself that way, right? You treat yourself with some respect. They're going to see that change in you. And then people are going to test you. They're going to test you to see if you're really about what you say. Is this work real? Man, she ain't talking about nothing. Okay, you know, you say your children, all right, look, I need to be in bed at 10 o'clock because I need to be up at 5:30 to get my exercise plan on, because I want to be a yoga instructor, but I'm 50 pounds overweight. So I know that part of that business is that I need to get myself together. So I have to wake up early, which means I have to be to bed early. I have teenage children. That door is locked at 11:30. You better be here on curfew time, or your ass will be sleeping with y'all. You'll be sleeping on the porch. Oh, mama not gonna do that. Oh, door locked at 11:30. People gonna try you. You know, it could be a boundary like that. That's a boundary. You're saying this is what time my door's closed. And it may be difficult, especially you have teenagers. Oh my God, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Yeah, most time people are betting on that. She ain't going to be like, where am I at? Oh, what if something bad happens? Well, did it happen because you set boundaries, or did it happen because they didn't respect your boundaries? And I know that's something very hard for people to accept. When people that they love do not adhere to boundaries, and then you have to take action. And sometimes you feel bad about that action, but you when you really do the work and you value yourself and you understand who you are and what you're worth and what you give and who you are, once again, who you are, you know, a lot of those pity feelings for people, feeling sorry and bad for people and stuff, a lot of those things go away. Okay? All right, so let's pull out our homework from last time. And this was about writing down what your ideal relationship would be like in whatever relationship you're in now. So if you're talking about an intimate partner, you are going to be writing down what your ideal relationship with an intimate partner looks like, looking at their characteristics. You want somebody who's faithful, loyal, financially stable. If you're talking about a situation with your mother, a relationship with your mother, that's impactful. And it's okay if... Don't worry about what it really is. Even if what it really is matches what your dream situation would be, that's fine. Right now, we're just talking about your dream situation. So for a mother, you will probably want her to be supportive, reliable, dependable, whatever. Okay? So you should have that done already. And if anyone didn't do it, feel free to pause this and come on back when it's done, because you are going to need that. So take your list, set it here. If you're the type of person that would like to look at where you've come from, where you've been, remember that we did the first chapter, which was choices. We discussed the relationships that you had in your childhood, what they taught you about yourself, and what they were like for you and who they were with. Then you come to the next week, which was Ascension, or the next workshop, which was Ascension, and we see how the relationships that we have now are similar or not to relationships that we had as children. We're looking at the interactions that we've seen that week and how those relate also to the relationships that we have now. Then we get on number 3, and I believe that was posture, your spiritual posture. So now with your spiritual posture, we're looking at how we've learned things from our childhood and brought it into adulthood, but how we can straighten up in order to get to where it is that we want to be. Yeah, these are learned behaviors. Be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself. But get on it too, and let's get this work. You understand? And let's get to where we need to be. Accountability is where we look at, even though, okay, it was learned behaviors, yeah, but this is my role and where I am, what I've done, you know, what I could have done better, this, that, the third, and the other. Then we get into now with the boundaries. And this is when we start to look at our relationships with other people, right? Because we can do all this spiritual work, but unless you're going to live inside of a hut by yourself somewhere, you got to learn how to interact with people, even in that realm. You got to respect both reality and spiritual, right? So, the boundaries. You have your list now of what you would like it to look like. Okay? Now, blank piece of paper or loose leaf paper, whatever. And we're going to do, I'm not the best artist, so don't do me. Don't play me. I'm not like Shory. I want you to do a circle like this. Can you see it? Okay, it's not the best circle, but don't do this. Hold on, I gotta get another piece of paper for you. Don't do this. I've seen it done like this. Okay, once again, don't do me. I'm not the best artist. I've seen it done like this, and that's cool. Where it's like a circle, inner circle, inner circle, inner circle, and that's cool. But I kind of like it like this, and the reason why I like it like this is because it's intertwined. It's never ending. Like a circle almost like makes the notion that who I am as a wife is not, you know, it's like this circle. Then who I am as a mother is like this circle. And while, yeah, it has differences and boundaries and stuff like that, it's all intertwined into one person, you know. It's on me. So I like this circle better. You can do whatever circle you like, but for me, seeing this visually, it like brings it all together for me. As opposed to this, it just makes everything seem a little bit separate to me. That's just me. You do it however you feel comfortable. It really doesn't matter. So, well, if it does matter to you, it doesn't matter. Okay? In a circle here, I would put my closest relationship, which is my relationship with me. Put myself there. Myself. In a little circle. Sorry, it's a little crazy. I put myself in here. And this is true for me. This is who I have the closest relationship with. If you feel like you really don't even know yourself that much, you're really just learning and, you know, everything like that, don't put anything. You can leave it. If you really don't feel like you've gotten to that core of yourself, okay? You can leave it. If that's the truth. Okay. Next for me would be that limitless, boundless energy. Okay. And that's what I was going to say about when you're doing boundaries too. Hold on, I just lost my thought that quick. Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah. Okay. I used to be the type of person that look for people. My self-sacrificial, loving self. That's what I was talking about, self-sacrificing before. And I would go far. And I would say, I need people around me that's going to tell me, Toya, stop. You're doing too much. And it's like, who the hell's going to say that? If you're doing good things for people, people like that. Like, you can't depend on somebody else to say, oh, stop it. You're doing well for me, but it's too much for you. And I see it's too much. So stop. You have to be your own best friend in that way. Okay? And that's really what boundaries are about, being your own best friend. And so, if you've been doing the work, really, then you're able to put me inside of that box, that circle, that inner circle. You're able to put that because you've been learning to find your value. You've been learning. Some people it's going to take a year to do this. Some people it's going to take a matter of weeks. Everybody is different. Okay? Be patient with yourself. Be real with yourself. Boundaries is about you becoming your own best friend. Boundaries is not about you doing anything to anyone. It's not about you being a bitch. It's not about you being stuck up. It's not about you not being loyal. It's not about you not keeping your word, because people are going to try to keep you where you're at, especially when where you're going doesn't serve them. Right? So for a woman who's been abused to wake up and love herself and know herself, it does not serve her abuser for her to know these things. So they will consistently try to remind you of where you were, who you were, what you do, who you are. You can't change. You this and you're that and you're the other. And you know, if you're actually doing the work, when you do the work, your skin is tough because you know what you stand on. You know that you're honest and truthful. Can't nobody play with you. Y'all could try, but y'all can't touch me. You know? So that's how you're going to know if you're doing the work without actually having somebody there with you. This is how you know, you know. And boundaries is about being your own best friend. It's not about restricting anybody else. It's about freeing yourself. Okay? So if you've been doing the work, you're going to put me in that center. And then from there, you can put whoever you want. Me, the next person on my list is... The next energy is that limitlessness, that boundlessness, that awesomeness, that self-creator, creator of you and I. And I love to put that first because of reasons that you'll hear about in the next book. So yes, I have 6 children. Yes, I have a great affinity for them, and I love them so much. But they come next after that, and we'll discuss that in the next book. Well, next is my children. Okay? And after my children, and more than one person, more than one entity can hold a circle. So, you know, it may be your parents, your siblings, nieces and nephews, you know, cousins. Maybe you have a tight-knit family and your cousins are really like your sisters and your brothers as well. So, you know, maybe they will all go into, you know, one twist. I'm sorry. You know, I can't see shit. Excuse my language. Parents, siblings, cousins, you know, maybe those could all go into one round, you know. Parents, you know. And your circle can be as huge as you want. It can be as small as you want. Okay? You have as many rings as you like. But know that whatever is closest to this, you, gets the most intimate parts of you. Right? So my children are closer to me or closer to my core than maybe my parents and my siblings are, because my children see me naked and bare. You know, you don't really have no pride or shame around your children. Somebody piss you off, make you mad, they know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? You want to know how somebody really feel about something that their children never told. That's when you know. When you think you her best friend, you don't really know her. You ask her children what she think about you. I know that's true for me. I'm very open around my children. I don't have many friends. So that circle would probably be very minimal for me, maybe really big for someone else. And just remember that the closer the circle is to you, is the closer these people are to your core, to the part. So you in the middle is like the diamond. Okay, so God is close to God, that limitless, boundless energy that is the self-creator, the creator of you and I. It's closest to my diamond, and I feel very safe with that. My children is close. I feel very safe with that. I close with my children, and you know, a little bit even closer. I wish I was a better artist. I don't want to put them together. You know, it's a different relationship. It's a different nakedness. Right? So that's how to do that chart. Just giving you so you can pause if you need to. So now, pull out your list. Put away the circles. Don't even look at it. Put it on the bottom. Pull out your list of the ideal things in whatever relationship that we're talking about. Your ideal relationship. And for each thing that you name, that's your ideal thing, If the person that you're actually dealing with, and if you're not actually dealing with anybody, then this it's not for you. Or there's some relationship that you based the previous chapters on. So whatever that relationship is, like I said, your mother, your sibling, your intimate other, companion, whatever. Okay. And for every time that that person has a match for your ideal situation, make a check. Right? And write that word again next to it. Right? So it's going to look like this. So let's say my ideal mate would be loyal, fun, honest, and romantic. Right? Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. So I said loyal, fun, honest, and romantic, right? That's my ideal. My ideal situation. Okay? So now my real boyfriend, Bob, is my boyfriend's name. Okay? Bob. So I write ideal here, and I make my list. Then I write Bob here, and I make my list. So I say, okay, is Bob loyal? So if Bob is loyal, I'll put a check. So I put a check. And write loyal next to it. Right? I want to rewrite the word. Rewrite it. Bob, check. That goes with my ideal situation. And he's loyal. Okay? Is Bob fun? I say, nah, man. Bob not really fun. Bob's kind of boring. So, put an X. And I put boring. Okay? Honest. Is he honest? Let's say, you know, yes, he's honest. So I put a check and I write Bob underneath his name. Honest. Is he romantic? Nah, he's not romantic. You know, he's kind of predictable when it comes to the bedroom or anything. So predictable. Check. If yes, and write the word, the characteristic that matches. X if no, and write the word, characteristic that matches. Okay? When you are done, I want you to tally up. I want you to see how many checks and how many X's that you have. Now for Bob, it was 2 and 2. It was pretty even. If you have something that's pretty even, that's fine. If that's the person that you can go to and talk to about boundaries and having them to understand this is where I would like to be. This is kind of the energy that I feel like I'm getting from you now. Now at this point, you have to know that you're giving this person, you have to always, when you are dealing in this work, you have to always have your spiritual posture up. I cannot stress that enough. And because I'm not there to see, I'm going to stress it a lot. Because you cannot go to somebody asking for something that you are not already giving yourself and that you are already not already exuding outward. Cannot go and ask for somebody to be financially supportive of you and you do not have 2 pennies to rub together. You have to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're going to make a fool out of yourself. Because people are going to be like, what are you talking about? You like, geez, really? What are you talking about? Okay? Do the work. Right? So if it's half and half, whatever, that's one thing. If it's like mostly good, whatever, go to the person. Look, this is what I'm trying to get to. You know, I need loyalty. I need this. And, you know, be very precise. You know, I'm not, you know, saying to go cut anybody's head off. But be very factual. Be very precise. If you need to take notes, take notes. And if you're dealing with someone that's not able to receive what you're saying to them, about how you feel and boundaries that you would like to be set, then you need to really think about your relationship with that person, because that shows a lack of respect and regard. Okay? And there's no way that you can be doing this work if you are giving yourself intimately to someone who devalues, disrespects, and disregards you. It does not go hand in hand. If you are still able to exist in a situation like that, if you do not feel absolutely uncomfortable in that situation where you're not being valued, then you're not actually doing the work. Because that would make you like feel like you're almost suffocating. Like, I have to get out of here. Okay? Now, if if you add it up and you start to see that, wow, a lot of the things that I'm looking for in my ideal situation is really not what this person is giving me. And then you turn around and you look at your chart, pull back out your chart. Now let's see where Bob is on my chart. Now let's say that Bob was, let's just say, right here at the limitless and the boundless instead of my children. Let's say it was Bob here, right? And I'm looking at my list, but Bob really does not have a lot of the qualities that we're talking about here. Then that lets me see that I've allowed someone to get close to my diamond that really does not have a clear and concise value of what they are needing. Okay? So now it's my responsibility to educate them by action and by verbal. Let me show you and tell you who I am, what I know that I deserve, and what I will get. Now, are you going to be a part of this? Whatever. But if you see that a lot of times your ideal situation and what these people are actually like in your life does not match, then you have to begin to take accountability for the fact that you're attracting exactly what you don't want. And you need to put out the energy that you do want. By doing good to yourself, you're going to attract people that do good to you. Okay? By setting boundaries, you're going to attract people that respect those boundaries. Stay firm in it. Okay? And pay attention that if people are not giving, why are you letting them so close to you? Your value must be off. We need to reevaluate what's going on. And you want to make sure that you set boundaries in love and not resentment, okay? For instance, with my children's father, my soon-to-be ex-husband, I would notice that I would have desires of wanting him to know he messed up, wanting, to hear an apology. When I finally let go of anything, it's to the point now where I really hope that he does not find any attractions to me, because it would be awkward to have a conversation with him like that, because I don't want to hurt his feelings, even with everything that is going on. But these are our boundaries. We exhausted other things. We are not going to be friends. We can barely co-parent. So this is the reality of it, and I'm setting my boundaries, and it's nothing against you. It's just me being my own best friend, right? Okay. So let's set those boundaries. Let's have those conversations. If it's not safe for you to have that conversation with somebody, you need to start thinking of an escape plan. Because it should always be safe for you to state your feelings, your emotions, your boundaries, your guidelines. That should always be safe. And love, that's always safe, okay? So let's see, do we have any homework? Yeah. Okay. As you go through this work, now that you have... No. The homework is setting your boundaries. That's enough homework. Keep a journal of it. Keep a journal of the conversations that you have with people when you're asking. Make sure your spiritual posture is up. Make sure you feel safe. Make sure you're dealing with people with love. Okay? Make sure you're dealing with people with grace. Okay? Get more bees, flies with honeys than more honey with bees. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I love you guys. Solution-based proactivity, and I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, boundaries. This is a difficult part, but it's a good part. I enjoyed this part. I don't know why I just did. Putting people. I done all this work. I'm being a better person. I done did all this work, so now I'm not gonna let people come in and wreak havoc. Time to set some boundaries. Okay, do it in love. Okay, always solution-based proactivity. Reach out to us in the comments, womenatworldkindred@gmail.com. Reach out. Like I said, if you can afford, that's fine, but just want to make sure this work is being done in a responsible way. It's pretty, to do spiritual work for me over a computer, over the internet, where I can't really, but that's the message Spirit just giving me, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I know that you guys are going to be great because you are great. Okay, I love you. See you in a minute.